Welcome to this episode of Kennedy Saves the World. And today, I'm here with a young man who is saving the world one laugh at a time. Jimmy Failla.
Jimmy.
Hold up the finger again. They didn't
There's
see
our...
it.
Jimmy's here. You guys.
So, I want to squash the rumor that there is a rift between us.
Oh, no.
Because I saw Brian Kilmeade in the elevator today, and he looks at me, he's like, why weren't you at Jimmy's show this weekend?
Uh-huh.
And I was like, that f***ing guy. No, I was like, I wanted to go to Jimmy's show. One daughter came home from college, and the other had homecoming.
Oh,
yeah.
I love how you conveniently left out that I told security not to let you in. The old homecoming. The old daughter from college. I was on the gram. She's away.
Why was my picture up at every door?
We love this
and
girl.
Outside the men's room.
We love this girl so much. We hang up her picture at every barrier of entry.
Do
into
not
the place.
admit.
You should have hung out, man, as the great David Tell once said. We had a wild time, man. Wild time on Strong Island. Yeah, it was amazing. I can't wait till everybody sees it. It was exactly what I thought it would be, which was rowdy, debauched, and it was, gosh, it was so much fun. Mm-hmm. It was so much fun.
Now, why did you hold it in a Mormon temple?
Here's the thing. The theater was supposed to be in the Paramount is being used to shelter migrants now. I'm like, wow, sure is crowded here, but none of my jokes were going over in the beginning. I'm like, oh, they don't speak English. And then they moved it to the Mormon temple. Yeah. No, we were at the Paramount. But this is a great thing about the Paramount. Now, I appreciate this. Other comics really might not. Okay, They're
dead to me.
You want to shoot your special. Usually in like an airtight, everybody is perfectly well-behaved situation where it's like you're doing a play. But I like the live ammo of stand-up where you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen. So the one real perk to doing it at the Paramount, which is where I grew up on Strong Island, these are my people. My people are a mess. You know what I mean? People who show up drunk to a Holy Communion and like heckle the priest. Yeah. Okay, that's what I come from. So there was an element of unrest in that room that I constantly had to be on top of that you might not appreciate it as a viewer, but as a performer, you'd realize what I mean by that is the potential for people to have gotten rowdy and mouthy was everywhere. So it was.
And that's just your mom.
Marianne!
Yeah, Marianne.
Rowdy up in the artist box. Kilmeade was there very well behaved.
Yeah.
Kilmeade very well behaved.
Did he bring the dogs?
There were no dogs. Mrs. Kilmeade, great. She's got a little, I thought rowdy in the green room, got a little carried away with the free Heinekens. I'm kidding. She was great. They were all fantastic. Anyone from Fox was really was well behaved, but my Mook faction of fandom was very present. Good. Like I mentioned like a throwaway reference to my high school and got like, yeah, like people headbutting and stuff.
Because that's the most education they've had.
That's all we had going for us. So we made it fun. But yes, there's no rift beyond the usual rift. So don't anyone think.
Yeah. So I mean, you punched me in the stomach and took all my stuff today. So it's like every other Monday.
I mean, come on.
A couple broken ribs and the inability to breathe or
be
laugh.
Honest,
no hard feelings.
What hurt more, the punch or the coworkers cheering for me when the shot landed?
They actually threw you a parade today.
I've never felt support like that. One guy, they did the Chinese dragon where they made the human dragon through the office. It was crazy. But yeah, the support is everywhere and I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, it's I felt small, Jim. No, but this is fantastic. I know we talked about
Fox
it.
Nation.
It.
Okay.
So you executed.
Yes, it's on now.
So now do they have to edit in some jokes?
Good night, everybody. Bang, pow. There it is. Can I tell you, the easiest time to do comedy, no one knows this, is when the world is at its worst.
Okay.
The reason being is because people need the outlet. You know what I mean? Because the world, it's so grim right now that it becomes this other cathartic thing for them that someone gets on stage, gives them permission. Like, oh, by the way, you don't have to care. Like the thing about comedy is it's for the people who've decided they need to stop caring for an hour so they don't snap. And you can go further in this situation than you normally can.
But I think
people have perspective.
People are able to use different parts of their brain,
You'd like to
parts
think.
of their
like
being, and you can be very serious and very compassionate and very informed. That can all happen, but at the same time, you need to make fart and dick jokes.
Do you ever?
Yeah.
But enough about the board meetings here at Fox and the fact that we're not invited to them anymore. Let's get past that. Let's talk about.
I made a nice casserole.
They won't let her in. No, you do. You need to go have fun, and everybody did. They did a good job of adulting. You know how when I'm on the road with you, I always give them a speech
So
about
the
how it's on
Hamas
TV.
jokes went over well.
Listen, there were two. We talked about it. You can't pretend you're living in a different world than the one you're in. But we always talk about this at our live shows, how we're treating them like adults who know the difference between a joke and a hate crime. And they did. They knew the difference between a joke and a hate crime. They did not know the difference between a beer and a tequila. They just drank them both as if one was the other.
Well, there were a lot of micheladas.
It was something, man. Yeah. And everyone that was there.
What was the cocktail of choice?
I don't even, honestly, I don't know.
Okay, but everyone who was there.
Everyone who was there that's ever been to the taping of a stand-up special was like, this is the most unique thing I've ever experienced. If only because I invite that element of unrest. And I like that. I thrive in that environment. Most people want to do a special like it's a school play. Yeah. Everyone will sit there. They'll clap. They'll politely, chuckle at your stuff and move on. This was a prison riot.
So you set the tennis ball serving machine on high.
That's absolutely 98.
You want the income
right at the crowd. People were yelled at. They would talk to. It had to. Because that's what I like to do. I like to Joe Clark the room. You get up with the megaphone and you're letting yourself go, boy. You're fat. It's tough love is what it is. Tough love.
I can't wait. So when does it come out?
January 23rd,
did you
I believe.
Say that?
No, I kind of did, but it's coming out in January, I think, right before my book. And I'm excited. I'm really excited. And you know what I'm most excited about, as is now I can eat. I was not I had a lot of Greek yogurt and tears in the 2 weeks running up to this.
Yeah. So you did have like a pretty decent fasting period.
Yeah, I actually for like 2 months, legit 2 months, actually semi paid attention to my intake.
And you ran to work every day from
Muggers. It's New York City. That was an exercise. So people forget. Most of the people here aren't training for a marathon. They're just trying to survive. If you're anywhere between Penn and Grand Central at any hour of the day now, gotta go. But yes, it was 2 months of carrying. And then I did like a full Amish rum springer the minute the thing was over.
Yeah, I heard there was axe throwing.
We went to the axe place.
So Pete Hegseth went to the comedy show.
No, it was hot. We did wind up at the Great New York Axe when it was over.
Is that a good activity for people who've been drinking all night?
Well, they have it set up in a way that it'd almost be impossible to hit somebody. But on paper, it doesn't sound good.
I mean,
it's not quite thing to do. It's not quite the go-kart track.
I love the Renaissance Fair.
Yeah.
But doing that after a night, because you're already pre-gaming before you go to a comedy show.
Yeah.
Like you want to be a little loose. You want to have a good time.
Yep.
You don't want to show up like you would to meet with your accountant.
Thank you.
If you've just gotten a letter from the IRS, you want to show up, like you're ready to party. Like,
yes, fair.
In case someone had to call you on stage to replace Jimmy Failla,
imagine
you'd be ready to.
But in that instance, they're not calling just one person. I mean, you're talking about a man who burns with comedic heat of 1,000 suns. I mean, they're not bringing up just one guy going to replace this. But they got theirs. But yes, axe throwing drunk. It's weird. Every axe throwing place serves alcohol. Someone's insuring this. I don't know who. Someone's insuring this, though. It's fascinating. It's probably the same guy who makes the roller coaster that turns into a car. The church carnival. I went on all those rides.
Oh, absolutely.
I was like, go on the roundup. I'm like, well, they just started it. I don't know if I want to now.
She's unscrewing all the bolts.
It's true.
Mom?
Hey, what's up here? So
right.
It was epic.
So, and then we also had a Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce sighting throughout New York City this weekend. Is it real?
Apparently so.
Yeah.
The movie premiered and they're still together.
Yes.
A lot of people believe,
it was a bromance, which I'd never heard that word before, but it's apparently something she does. Like she has these publicity seeking relationships, but she's not really emotionally invested in them. And the Sun put out an entire article like, is this a bromance?
Yes. And a lot of people thought it was because they're like, well, once she gets those movie ticket sales and blah, blah, blah. But they're still doing their thing, man.
Why is Hillary Clinton narrating this? Oh, hi, Jimmy.
I want to be in a bromance. Hot sauce. Yeah. Carry it in my purse, But It's more than a promo. She announced she's going to his game again this week. Now it's only the second week of ticket sales.
Yeah,
so maybe that is what listen, as you know, we've talked about this at some length. Okay. I don't expect it to work. I think we've talked about her as a musician. She's incredible. As a talent, she's incredible. She's so prolific. I so respect her and her work ethic, and I love her and her fans. But I believe there's a production model in all of us that in order to be who we are creatively, we have to behave a certain way. And I almost feel like even if she doesn't know it, she might thrive on the conflict of breakup. It's weird, but she writes a lot of that really good breakup music.
Yeah.
And I think you got to be living in it to mean it, you know?
Yeah, that's why when Adele got her divorce, I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Not because I wish
you don't
her
wish that for
sadness.
her, yeah.
I don't wish for a fractured family, none of it. But man, does she write good songs.
She writes, she gets obsessed. That's what I'm saying. And if we could get Adele to gain some weight back. I love Adele.
Yeah, but skinny Adele.
I know it's a problem, man. It's like, and this is...
It's like the fat kid from Varsity Blues. when he lost all that weight, it's like, he's cute, but
and you want to know why no one appreciated it?
We want the chub back.
Getting past that is because she did it during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Everybody else gained 65 pounds. Yeah. Everybody else bought a Steve Ducey cookbook and mastered 3 recipes and ate them to the end of the world.
By the way, I don't know if we've mentioned this. I know we've talked about our love of Steve Ducey's recipes, but I think about this at least once a week. So his recipe for an adult pumpkin pie milkshake is the best. Like you throw a piece of pumpkin pie, some vanilla ice cream, a couple of ice cubes, milk, and bourbon in a blender. And it's like, if that doesn't change your life, you don't deserve to live in America.
I have left orgies to drink this. And some of these guys were great looking. I mean, I broke a lot of hearts. I'm sorry, fellas, but if you had this smoothie, you'd understand. Yeah. I mean, it's a smoothie. Yeah. As smoothies go.
Yeah, from cutie pie to pumpkin pie.
But so good.
Yeah. I know you love a Twinkie, but...
Hey, there it is. Bang! So a lot went on. We didn't get to any of that in the special, but we covered a lot of other things.
Yes, you did. I can't wait to see it.
It's going to be epic.
Yeah. So I'm sorry I wasn't there. It wasn't because there's a rift.
No. That's
Sometimes parenting takes precedence over mass alcohol consumption.
Yes, and the genuine disdain we have for each other does not impact our ability to coexist. We tour together. We're going to be at the Stanley Theater in Utica, November 11th.
I can't wait.
Come on.
A day that will live in infamy.
We are the oasis of comedy. We fist fight between songs. Sing one to all. Like, no.
Champagne supernova, I'm punching you in the uterus again. All right. Jim, I'll see you next Monday. Boom. I would say see you next Tuesday.
Oh!
That's what you say to me.
Thank you.
This has been Kennedy Saves the World, along with Jimmy Failla. I'm Kennedy. Listen ad-free with a Fox News Podcast Plus subscription on Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Prime members can listen to this show ad-free on the Amazon Music app. Oh, go ahead and leave me a review while you're there. I'd love to hear what you have to say. You've been listening to Kennedy Saves the World on the Fox News Podcast Network.